All right, cool. So, my name's Eddie. I'm here with...
I'm Danny.
Cool. And we're gonna see where this takes us.
Yeah, we're gonna try out this whole podcasting thing. Sitting here, I don't know what day it is.
It's a day. It's Friday.
It is a Friday. It's pretty late at night.
It's about 11, and, well, we're social distancing by talking to each other.
We are, in fact, sitting within 6 feet of each other.
No, outside of 6 feet.
Okay, we're sitting not 6 feet away. We're sitting 6 feet away from each other.
Exactly 6.
We measured it, so don't worry about that.
Cool. So, for this, I don't know, we just kind of wanted to talk about, one, how we met, and then just some stories from that time period, because when people kind of, I don't know, get to know us, they realize we know a lot about each other, and it's because we've known each other since 2013.
Yeah, we first met in when I was in 8th grade. And it was your freshman year of high school.
It was the concert band step-up night my freshman year of high school, and I wasn't the best with music theory or reading music at all. I just kind of figured it out as it came. So I went up to the band director and specifically said, I really don't want an 8th grader. I don't want to be responsible for someone because I'm not comfortable myself. Yeah. And he looked at me and said, okay, cool. And then lo and behold, the next person that walks in is Danny. And he says, hey, Eddie, I got you an 8th grader.
And I wasn't sure that I was going to go to Providence yet. I was still thinking about going to the public school. But, I mean, that band step-up night really meant a lot to me because the people there. And... yeah, honestly, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you were probably a big reason why I went there.
Really?
Yeah, because you were very cool, and
was I? And then I bullied you for the first year you were there.
Vibe. Yeah, well, we hated each other for the first year that we were in the band together.
I couldn't stand you.
But I mean, that first night was nice, and then every time after that first year, we were hating each other was nice.
So we kind of wanted to talk about high school band. Because that's where we first met, but we are 1 year off. I'm a year older at 22, and he's 21, so I graduated just a year before him. So I'm just going to start with mine. In 2012, I've been playing some music since I was probably 7 or 8, but I went through some music shops, and they just decided to never teach me theory.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of, all right, this is a G, an F, and I was comfortable with the keyboard. That was fine, like the piano, but I couldn't read it on a staff at all. So I signed up for this band program because it was either that or track, because I thought I'd be athletic at the time. I don't know why my family was like, yeah, you got this.
Wait. You were in track?
No, but I thought I could do it.
Wait, you thought you could do track?
Looking back on it, I'm like, man, who let that kid's dreams get so high?
Who let you think that?
I don't remember. It was just one day I thought, yeah, it's either music or just let me run a lot.
Wow, you really should not trust those people.
No, I gotta cut those people out of my life.
Cut them off.
So then I signed up for this program, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from the brass caption head. Hey, Eddie, this is so-and-so. We heard that you have a music background, so we were wondering if you wanted to play mellophone or French horn. And man, they reached out. Yeah. Like, this band program needs me. So I said, yes, 100%, and hung up that phone. Went to my computer and Googled French horn. That is not at all what I thought it was going to be.
Googled how to play French horn.
How French horn. And I called back right away and said, yeah, I agreed to this too fast. I play piano, I can try that, and I know one of your snare drummers at the school, so I can chat with him and maybe learn something.
It's Danny Mac, right?
That was Danny Mac.
Wow.
Because I've known him since I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And, well, I went to the band camp, summer comes around, and I still don't know how to read music. They handed me, like, the piano sheets, so I had to write the staff above the first page.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I would switch one paper over and write like lines as bars, and I would write the physical letter of like an F, a G flat.
You could just do that over the notes, bro.
I know.
But people will yell at you.
They would have.
You just gotta take
And this way I condensed it all to one page. And people started catching on, like, I don't think he knows how to read music. It was like that movie Drumline.
Yeah, the hit 2001 movie.
The 2001 famed critic film starring Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon's Drumline.
So yeah, I like just kept writing it, and then all of a sudden one day this guy comes up to me. Oh, that's smart. Is that all you look at though? Yeah. Why? How do you know how long you're supposed to like hold the notes out for? Like how many beats? Oh, what do you mean? I just had no idea what I was doing at all. I somehow faked my way through that entire fall season. The director of one rehearsal, I would just like to give an appreciation to Eddie Gomez. Do you guys hear how much he's killing it? I'm like, this guy might not know what he's talking about. I don't know what's going on.
This guy has no idea who I am.
I'm such a fraud.
It reminds me so much of when you would ask Gabe how he tunes the timpani. And
That was that year.
I don't.
Why would I tune him? I just remember like years later watching one of the videos of the performance, and I just see Gabe on the timpani rocking out on the highest drum, not ever switching to the other three, even though he dragged them all the way out there. But he's just rocking the one.
On the Gabe Mobile, right?
The Gabe Mobile. I'm sure that's still at Providence.
Yeah, that's probably in that shed. I don't know if have you ever been in that shed?
I think I threw like a drum back there and said I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. When Robbie got the keys to at like all the doors last year, like we would sneak around, and there was like I didn't know there's a band storage closet in the shed by the football field.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, all the props from 2016's show and 2017's show are in there.
Yes, I did throw those props in there because I
Yeah.
thought this was bogus.
Yeah. So that's that. So that's 2012, huh?
Pretty
what was the
much.
Show?
The show was The Social Network.
Yeah. And didn't you have a solo? Because you played synth, right?
I did. I started the show. And I thought I was so special. I'm like, man, it's my first year. I must be killing this. But the director, they just gave me a synth patch that was just like one. It was just like a continuous note of whatever pitch or note you hit. So if it was E, it's just zzz.
That was.
And there was no tempo, no nothing. It was just, I would hit it and then the drum major would count off.
That was your solo?
That was my solo.
Wow, you had a solo with no time.
I was killing
That's
it.
impressive.
I was still late.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, the Social Network is about just different social networking apps like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. The props were really bad, and I remember for some reason the director's like, we might get like a copyright on this or something. Someone might contact us.
It was like the logos of the social media networks, right?
Yes, it wasn't like we printed them, we painted them on there, but it was clearly the Facebook logo.
Yeah, or the YouTube logo or Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny.
I was like, who does he think is going to come out to this marching band show?
Did you guys have the LinkedIn network or the LinkedIn logo on there?
I think we might have. It was either that or MySpace, something that no one ever uses anymore.
Yeah.
Or no one our age or someone judging would use, but we added them.
I mean, 2012 was a different time.
It was a very different time. Yeah, I'm sure there's a video out there somewhere.
Who was the drum majors then?
Nicole and Eric.
Was Nicole the girl who would like be very like weird with her conducting? She would pump out with her hands. Yeah.
She would like flick water off of them in a sense.
Flare her hands.
Yeah. I didn't know any better. I'm like, oh, that's one.
I mean,
that's something after
it's
one.
It's pretty clear where the time is at when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can't really blame her, but.
And to be fair, I don't think she's doing anything music now. A lot of people from that school don't at this point.
Not at all.
No. I don't know how we managed.
Because honestly, I think it's because of Nexus.
Yeah.
Like, and then we just got really close in the Nexus years, and
Then we just kept pushing.
we went to Pio.
You want to move on to 13?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in 2012, I was an 8th grader, so obviously we talked about the step up night, and I had never seen the Providence Marching Band until I got there in 2013, and I played Xylo/Glock.
Didn't you get a perfect score on your 8th grade solo?
Oh yeah. So funny enough, the guy who ended up being, who's the percussion director at Providence, the high school we went to, he actually was my judge for solo and ensemble in 8th grade. Do you remember me telling you that?
I vaguely remember that because it was
Yeah.
like, who's this 8th grader freshman that's got a perfect score at whatever he just did? I think the director told me about that, how we have someone coming in who's really good.
That's so funny. I remember him telling me, like, when I got to Providence or when I showed up at Step Up Night, the shadow night where I was shadowing you.
Yeah.
He's like, he told me he recognized me. That's where we made
Really?
the connection. He's like, man, we are so blessed to have you here.
Oh, okay.
We're so lucky.
Let's take it
and
easy.
I was like, thank you. Finally, I get my recognition.
Start washing your damn feet as you start coming in.
Bent down and kissed my feet and worshipped the land I walk on. But yeah, so that man was...
I did not know he greeted you at the door. Because that was his first year at Providence at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Him and I lasted Actually, I lasted longer there. We'll get into that, though.
Yeah, that's a long story.
So, 13, your boy Eddie makes it to the drumline.
Drumline.
On
the cannon.
Good old quads tenors. I did not know how to read any notes at that point. I could kind of fake my way through rhythms. That was about it, though. That's
all you needed for the Providence drumline at that time, though.
Yeah, we were not making leaps or jumps.
And honestly, at that point, nobody could really tell, who was good or not. If you could play the show and it sounded, not like you were messing up,
mm-hmm.
if you could get through it, basically.
If you could hit a downbeat, you're fine.
Yeah.
That was a mess of a show, though.
Yeah, that show is... that show is so good they decided to do it twice.
Let's talk about so you come in as a freshman. What was your experience? Because I didn't have a theoretical music background.
My first memory is playing marimba with Crispy Butlick and Robbie Pierce.
Okay.
And
you and Robbie are the same age. Okay.
Yeah, my first memory was Chrissy was trying to teach us through some scales and stuff, and I already knew all this stuff, but she didn't know that I knew that stuff, but I knew Robbie didn't know that stuff, so I was just this is kind of BS. But I was it was my first day as a freshman. I was
you're gonna speak up. Hey, this is bogus.
This is bullshit.
This is my band program now.
But yeah, that's my first band memory, and then oh my god, band camp freshman year. Do you remember when I tipped the xylophone Glock over my third day of band camp?
I don't. What happened?
No,
you tipped it over?
Oh my god.
Did we have the ramp before then?
No, yeah, you always had the ramp when I was there. It was just there were railings going down the side, but they only went down about halfway, so you could cut the corner coming out of it really easily and then just tip the whole thing over, which is exactly what I did. And the xylo having the glockenspiel mounted on top of it was just so top heavy. And it was it was a whole big thing because John was there and he screamed about it and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm sorry, I don't know. And then bro was oh, and I was just I'm so sorry. And the Glock keys spilled everywhere, and that's why the Glock was so ripped up.
That was you?
And that's why somebody had to color it in with permanent marker, I think. And, yeah.
So when you say all the keys fell, the keys came off the string?
The keys spilled out of the glockenspiel because it was just the screws holding them on. You can take some of them off, just normally lift them off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a lot of them just spilled all over the Providence parking lot. That was a whole thing.
Right, because I used to hide those from people during concert band because I didn't care.
Yeah, that Xylo Glock that tipped over in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Really?
Yeah,
my senior year,
sophomore year when we went to Lucas Oil for the
when
first time.
We got second to last.
That was 2014. Next year.
Okay.
Next year, but yeah, back to 2013. The show was.
Celtic Spirit? Celtic
Spirit, something like that.
Yeah.
We brought bagpipes onto the marching band field. And
Two bagpipes.
Honestly, at the time, I thought it was really cool. I don't know
I
what you
was
thought about it.
Almost sold to the bagpipe idea, but the people I was hanging with at the time, because it wasn't you didn't take band serious enough at this point. You were out here dropping Xylos, I guess.
Yeah,
Xylos and Glocks.
I said coming out of my shell. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Mm-hmm. So, just the group I was hanging with.
Yeah.
They were all kind of not supportive of it just because of the crowd the bagpipes drew and how the school was pushing a scholarship for it. And we're like, well, they're in the music program and so are we. Why do they deserve money versus us? Which I can see an argument to be made now. Mm-hmm. How they get free lessons. It's definitely school's tradition and history now.
Yeah.
And they do outside gigs at this point and don't make money off of it.
The parades and they have taken gigs that the band would usually do sometimes. Some
I think they played funerals, weddings.
They would take things during all school masses.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we would have a small music ensemble or something.
So I can definitely see the argument now, but just when you're with a group of people and whatever they're saying at face value, it's yeah, let's start a revolution over it.
Especially when you're young.
Yeah, I'm no older than 14, 15 in sophomore year.
Yeah.
So we were all just kind of against it. We didn't like the people in the program. We definitely thought they got a different treatment. And just personally, I think they sound bad. I understand, like, it's a rich tradition instrument, and some people cry as soon as they hear bagpipes start vacuuming or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hate it.
I mean, no, like, I think it's because, like, the bagpipers would always be practicing.
Yeah,
like,
and you can't do that
in
quietly.
The most inconvenient times. You literally cannot. It's the most annoying sound.
And they wouldn't be in, like, practice rooms. They would just be in the band room.
Just pacing around.
And it's like, we want to relax. It's the band room. We just want to hang out after school.
Yeah, the band room is the chill spot.
Yeah, we get away from, like, the rest of the school. And for people that didn't talk to anyone like me, that was, like, my safe escape.
Exactly.
So we had 2 bagpipes, one of which was the drum major. And during the percussion feature, would get off my God. What was it? The podium?
The podium.
And just go and play bagpipes.
That's such an insane idea to think of now.
Yeah.
I could not imagine.
If you try, like, actually thinking out how that should work, that would be a headache and a nightmare, but we weren't good enough to think about it.
No, like, but it wasn't terrible. I think that was, like, one of the better shows that, like, Providence has put on. Mm-hmm. Not to brag, but I mean, you had a solo your freshman year that was one note, and I did a duet with a baritone player. So
a duet. So you were with someone.
I was really bad though. I mean, but
yeah, that show had a lot of potential because it was like while we had bagpipes, no one was doing that. No one. I don't think anyone has ever done that, and I've
never seen it. No.
It's technically like a woodwind instrument in a sense, right? It has a reed. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, that is like some general effect right there. On paper, that is a really cool idea.
Just on paper, it's really crazy to have your drum major step off. Our only drum major step off the podium. We basically have no time, like, and there's just like a lot of stuff happening. Like there was a lot of backfield drill happening.
Yeah, like all the winds weren't watching the drum major.
Drill. Yeah, and like there was like it was like a pit moment with like a snare drum or two.
Was that when the pit was on the field?
Yeah,
and we made the cross.
Yeah, the who did it? The Velvet, not the Velvet Knights.
No, Star of Indiana?
Star of Indiana,
yeah. Because it was the same
literally
movement.
The exact same
What was it, by Lock and Mount? No.
I don't know what we
piece?
Dargazon?
Yeah, the Dargazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the same music they used for Spirit of... no.
I don't think it was the same music, but it was the exact... We did the exact same drill move. The cross rotation was the exact same.
Yeah.
But I mean, Providence put the pit on the field and made them a part of the cross. So
I'm just saying, they're trendsetters.
Honestly,
they were box 6.
We had our center marimba leave his board to sing in that show
and play bagpipes.
He was wearing a completely different uniform. Are you kidding me? That GE through the roof.
Getting rid of uniforms, costumes after uniforms.
The kilts.
I don't know how we didn't win DCI.
Honestly. I think about those uniforms sometimes we had my freshman year. Like
the one was the capes?
The white and like the half capes. I really did like those half capes.
Those were the first uniforms Providence ever bought.
Really?
Yeah, that was like anyone that's ever marched in that program had those uniforms. That's why it was such a big moment.
That's kind of cool.
Right? That's why I kind of wish they would like let us either buy them or like just keep a part of it.
No, I think they all have new uniforms now. It's like to keep in line with like what DCI
did see
DOA
that
is now.
Yeah,
they're like the drum major uniforms, I guess.
Just like kind of spandexy.
Yeah, and like kind of they look like kind of like Tronny, like black and like green and white.
Hey man, if you give me a Shaco, I love it. I'm about the band hats.
I do enjoy a good Shaco. I mean, I didn't get to it was cool in high school. I got to be a part of drumline and parades.
Yes,
but I didn't get to do that my freshman year. But sophomore year, I started to do that. So that'd be a good transition onto the next year's show, which was the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Except
that's a whole story.
More bagpipes.
Here, do you remember the change.org?
Oh my God, there was a petition.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't remember enough about it. I just
remember
that.
At the 2013 program, Celtic Spirit did pretty well for that school's history. Like
it was kind of
at the Illinois State finals competition, we were told we were like 0.2 away from making finals, and that would be the first time in the school's history.
Yeah.
So the directors, both percussion, assistive, and band director, all had the idea of what if we take pretty similar music, if not the same music from the year prior, and do it for 2014 for the next year's program. And, well, the band wasn't happy. The group I was still hanging out with, one of the guys made a change.org petition saying we're being deprived of educational experiences. Why would we do the same exact music twice? because when we were handed the music for next year's show, some of it was just a straight copy and paste of the Dargason. We played Amazing Grace 3 times in that show, a 4-movement show. Mm-hmm. So it just becomes repetitive. So why are we trying to perfect 1 to 2 pieces while these other programs are trying to perfect 5 or 6 segments of pieces?
A completely different show.
Yeah. So one guy made a change.org, and our group of 5 or 6, we sent it to everyone we knew, and they sent it to everyone they knew.
Yeah.
We had like maybe 600 signatures.
It was a pretty good amount for just being like some high schoolers, you know?
Yeah, it was pretty substantial, and like people were leaving wholesome comments saying, if I were a senior this year, I would be very offended that the band directors didn't want to give me the experience of my own personal show for my last year.
Yeah.
Because now they're sharing just the same show with everyone else.
Exactly.
After we got the 500-600 signatures, that's when they decided to show the band director. And I vaguely remember that, right? Like, they were not happy, and they had a full meeting with us.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
It was, how dare you guys not trust the staff? We only want the best for you. We just want to see how well you guys can do competitively.
Which I get.
There's validity behind it, but I personally have never found joy in numbers.
At the same time, like, I mean, ICV can do it in 88 and 89 doing the same show, but like at the same time, you know, our band directors would always tell us we're not a drum corps.
Yeah.
It's very apparent. So like, don't treat us like, don't try to make it seem like we can do to make it seem like we can improve 2 years in a row. Like basically in high school, you're basically starting from scratch every year.
Yeah, because you don't know if kids don't want to come back to the program. You have kids graduating.
Yeah, you always have people leaving. And
then you just have, 20 freshmen, if you're lucky, who don't know anything about the program.
Especially sophomore year, there was a big influx of freshmen.
Mm-hmm. You guys were a big class.
Yeah, your class wasn't that big. Right?
No, we had like 7 or 8. And it doesn't help that we were at a private high school that was also a Catholic high school. So you had no clue where any of your feeders were coming from.
Yeah.
You could have some from the public schools, the other grade school the grade schools that were private or Catholic, and some of them don't have good music programs.
Yeah, actually, I think my grade school music program was about on par with Providence's band program.
Mine did not have a music program.
Yeah, that's what you started reading music your freshman year. It's just crazy to me.
And it's just like these, depending who you are from what program, it doesn't matter where you started. You can end anywhere, but also wherever you start, sometimes we have people who don't know how to read music.
Yeah.
And people who get perfect scores on their 8th grade individual solo.
Listen, when you play Mexican hat dance on the Glockenspiel, people turn their heads.
You're drawing some eyes.
Listen, people are listening to that.
But the petition aside, they didn't change the show. Yeah. And instead of 2 bagpipes, we had...
Like, it was like 8 or 6?
It was 7 or 8 or something.
Large number.
And you can barely tune 2 bagpipes to the same note. You cannot tune 8, and it's just loud.
Oh, it was also, they brought in, is that when they brought in Jacob, that 8th grader on the bagpipes?
Yes, because there was some rule that if the kids were going to go to the high school the next year, they were allowed to perform in the marching band. Yeah. And that didn't make sense to us.
Yeah, it was just like this 8th grader kept showing up to our rehearsals just like be featured in like our show.
And he only played bagpipes. Like that was the only moment he came out.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So our opener was Amazing Grace.
Oh god. Which
was on the electric chanter. For those of you that don't know, the chanter is the part of the bagpipes that similar to like a recorder.
Yeah.
You put your fingers over the holes and it changes the note.
Yeah, it's the part they're holding with the bagpipes in their hand, yeah.
So that's what they do for the bagpipes. So electric one is just the stick, similar to a recorder, just through like a MIDI cable.
Yeah, it's plugged into the soundboard.
Which never worked.
It gets pumped out into the speakers in the audience, and it sounded like literally like a swarm of mosquitoes.
Yes,
like,
that's a good way to put it.
Flying into your ear. It's so bad.
And it was just like really him playing while everyone's marching, right? There was like some backup synth or whatever. It was pretty much a him feature.
A low note or something like that. But
and then our second movement was the Dargason, right?
That was
or is it by Lock and Mountain?
Dargason in the by Lock and Mountain.
Yes.
It would do both. It was it would change times. Yeah.
So not to go back on a past subject, but in 13 our music was the Dargason, by Lock and Mountain, and Amazing Grace.
Yes.
And then an original composition of some sorts.
Uh-huh.
But that was about it. Back to 2014, so we start with Amazing Grace into the second movement of the Dargason into By Lock and Mountain switching off. Mm-hmm. And then our third movement was the ballad of Amazing Grace.
Yeah. Oh, Amazing Grace, but slower.
Yes.
In a different
and
key.
then the fourth movement was Amazing Grace to Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, and then it was Dark Exotic, but faster.
Yes. So it was just all the same music. That's why we had such an issue with it.
Yeah, and were you section leader that year? Yeah.
I think he just wanted to give me a position. I was the drumline section leader while Danny Mack was the percussion section leader.
Center snare section leader. Yeah.
So it was just basically I got to tell the other quad drummer what to do.
I mean, I was technically center marimba, but...
Were you on marimba at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was me and Natalie on marimba. It was a sophomore center marimba, freshman outside marimba, and then
the star of the show.
Junior on inside vibe, and then star of the show, senior on outside vibe.
Yeah.
And then a senior on Glock and Xylo. And it was so strange because the person playing outside vibe and the person playing Glock and Xylo were the two section leaders.
Because they were the juniors? They were the oldest in the section.
They were the two seniors. It was Gabe and John.
They were seniors at that point.
Yeah. And John had been our son of marimba the year before. Mm-hmm. And Gabe had played rack the year before. And he had a solo that he couldn't play, but we love him for it.
How was that kind of leadership? Because Gabe was very hands-off. He was just a fun guy.
Here's how it went.
Okay.
Is John would try to do something.
Okay.
And we'd all kind of have a problem with it. And I would, tell Gabe to tell John to be like, no, you can't do that. Because, I couldn't tell John.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
You're still a sophomore.
I'm a sophomore. I don't have a position of leadership. But Gabe is a senior and also is, a co-section leader of the front ensemble. So I was basically, I like to put it as, I was leading the front ensemble through Gabe my sophomore year.
You were like the Wizard of Oz.
Literally, I was, whispering in his ear. I was like, yeah, go tell John. He can't, make us stay set for 5 minutes straight. It's
5 minutes straight? You guys were just standing there behind your boards?
Literally, in 2013, my freshman year, he would be like, okay, guys, today we're going to stay set for a minute. Oh. Tomorrow we're going to stay set for 2 minutes. And then Wednesday, we're going to stay set for 4 minutes. And then go up and up and up and up and up. And he was like, eventually, we're going to be able to stay set for an hour.
How did that work?
We didn't do it past day 2. Because we were like, John, what is this teaching us? What does that do for us? Stay set, for an hour. That's literally just, wasting time of, we'll just be sitting there,
not getting better actively.
Standing behind our boards, staring off in one direction.
Did you guys have a pit tech at that point?
Oh, my God. Chrissy was
she was still there?
She was still there, and then that's also when Angelo came around.
Oh, yeah.
And
our boy Ange.
I can't remember if anybody else.
No, because there was someone our senior year that was new.
You're a senior.
My senior year.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she marched some drum corps. I can't remember. It might have been Legends.
Yeah, going back to 14, though. So we did the same show. Did worse, right?
I really only paid attention to percussion score. I think we did worse as an overall band. But we did pretty good as a percussion group. Yeah.
Because at that point we had Nexus going for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Nexus in 2013.
We'll make indoor a different
different
episode.
Different part. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the chanter? Do you want to come clean about that?
I don't know if we can talk about that.
I think we're good.
What if he listens to it?
I think we'll be okay.
Okay, so if we're gonna come clean on all this.
I'm gonna go grab a beverage.
So the chanter, as we talked about, was the electric chanter was this thing that was used in our marching band show, and the guy who played it as part of the marching band show would just hook it up to the speakers, the very loud giant amps in the band room, and just practice his parts all the time, and it was so annoying for everyone. Everyone despised it. And then one day I was a terrible I'll admit it, it was terrible of me to do, but
this is where you earn my respect.
I was terrible of me to do, but I one day I stole it because he left it on the sound cart one day, and I just stole it
during school. Yeah, this was during a normal school day.
Yeah. And he was we went through rehearsal.
Went to during our band class for the fall semester. We would go to marching band stuff. Yeah, we would just go on the field. Mm-hmm. So go on.
And it was, we were rehearsing the show out in the football field during class, and he couldn't start the show because he didn't have his chanter because he couldn't find it. and he was like freaking out. He was freaking out. And he was like calling his mom. And our band director from like the top of the football stadium goes, "John, are you on your phone?" And he goes, "I'm calling my mom." And like, I don't know why he was like, maybe she would know where his
Maybe he was at home or something.
Like, but like, regardless, our band director told John that he was gonna get detention because that's like, you can't be on your phone
on in class.
Yeah, that's the rules, and he was like, he was so mad. He was like screaming, like he was like, "If I get detention, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit band. I'm gonna quit all music. I'm gonna drop out of high school. I'll lose my perfect transcript." Even though like he like literally had like a 1 point something GPA, but like. It was just like so funny because like in high school at that time they would all the people who got detentions would have to go down to the dean's office
at the end of the day,
and they would get announced to the entire school like their name.
And you immediately knew, like, if your friends got called over to the dean's office, you knew, hey, why'd you get detention?
It was the funniest thing.
Yeah, it was like the highlight of the day at that point.
Yeah, no, yeah. So he got a detention for being on his phone, and I ended up putting his chanter back on a music stand facing the wall, like not really in plain sight, but not in a place.
It was somewhere that it could have been. Yeah, easily.
It was just on a music stand that was facing the wall directly, like it was very close to the wall, and and like he just like screams like I looked everywhere. I looked everywhere. But yeah, that's the chanter story.
Yep. And then he got that detention.
There was a couple memes made out of it, like Percy Jackson and the Chanter Thief.
Yeah, that's where you gained my respect, because the friend group I was with all were like, "Have you met this kid Danny? Guess what he just did today?" I'm like, wow, this kid's kind of cool, I guess. He just stole something and got a kid a detention.
So funny. And that was never my goal. I don't know why I ever stole it. It was just like, I was such a troublemaker. Still am.
Because the band director, he was known for not caring about phones. If you were caught, he would just kind of say, "Give it to me. You'll get this at the end of the day."
But if I remember, you also got a detention for being on your phone.
I did. That was because I was a very bad person about it. Yeah, no, he got a detention, and I had my last class with him, and that's when they would announce detentions after your last class. So they say, "Will the following students please come to the dean's office? Joe Blow." And he just starts throwing a fit in the music room. Or no, in our last class, in his desk. Yeah, like, "I can't believe they did this."
Well, you were in his class, right?
Yeah, it was just crazy.
What were you doing? Like, were you taking an exam or something? Like,
no, that was
something, right?
No, that was just at the end of the day. But then he went down there and he was arguing with the deans about it and didn't take his detention. To where the next day, we're taking an exam, knock at the door, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
"Hey, I have to deliver this to John." And then they handed it to him. And then he got really upset in the middle of a test. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm trying to figure out what 48 is because I don't know what's going on in this class.
No question 48 is.
Yeah. And he was livid. And then every day since then, they just hand delivered the detentions throughout the day.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like, his parents like called and were like, none of that. No more announcing people over the.
Yeah, how dare you publicly shame these kids or whatever.
Oh, it was so funny. I'm glad I got to experience it. Same thing in 2013 with the senior roasts in the band.
Senior roasts?
You don't remember senior roasts?
Not really.
Yeah, it was a thing. Like, remember all the seniors would go up and everybody would sit on the ground in the band room?
Oh, yeah,
and like, then after that year, it was stopped?
Yeah, because it got kind of intense.
Yeah.
It was kind of like personally insulting them.
Well, that's what roasts are. I
mean,
it was just different time. Times were changing, you know?
Times were very different. You couldn't get away with half the stuff we've done.
From my senior year to freshman year, the band changed like 3 times.
Yeah. You were able to keep that a secret all throughout high school, and I finally wanted you to tell it because it's one of the funniest things that you've ever done, in my opinion. Because you didn't mean to do it, like, you wanted to take it, but you didn't want all this, like, to result from it.
Yeah.
But it happened, and I respect that a lot.
I mean, it's just, like, the kind of luck of the Irish, you know?
Is there anything else that happened that year?
In 2014?
We went to BOA.
Yeah, we went to Indy.
And we got second to last at a BOH Super Regional because the last band didn't show up.
We were really hyped because we didn't get last. And
yes.
I actually did not know that last fact until this very moment.
Really?
I literally thought we beat somebody else.
No, they just didn't show up.
Come on.
Yeah, no, we were that not good. After 8 bagpipes showed up, Skojo in the box said, "Yeah, Chief, this ain't it."
He said, "Wow."
Is there anything else? Marching band wise, we can talk about concert stuff.
No,
in a different one.
All throughout high school, percussion was pretty consistent. We always won best percussion at competitions.
Yeah, so we had a very nurtured group of people.
Good for our class.
Yeah. What was our 14 show called?
The 14th show, I think it was.
I tried thinking about it the other day. I couldn't remember.
Didn't we just call it Celtic Spirit Part 2 or something?
I would believe it.
We should find a video and they'll announce it.
Yeah.
Something similar. It's Celtic.
It was
3 Celtic dances or something like that.
Wasn't something like that. No, that's where the Dargason came from. 3 Celtic dances. It was the second movement. Similar, but different.
Right. You're right.
Now we're gonna move into 2015. My
senior year, right?
Yeah, it's my senior year, and you're.
That's where even my junior year, and this is where things drastically changed for us because our band director got fired.
Yes, because he was also not behind this whole bagpipe situation.
Yes, he was a speaker of the people, as you would say.
Because as we said, it was like very unfair to us that they were getting special treatment.
Yeah.
Scholarships, because we were at a private Catholic high school. It wasn't cheap to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to be getting money for something that we're also doing just in a different area, just kind of wasn't cool to us. But he spoke up for us. Do you remember what happened, really?
I mean, I think there was other things that were involved. Like, it was more than just, like, the bagpipe thing. I can't really remember what. But, that was, like, I think what got him the boot is, like, they were already on bad terms. Is like, he was you could go into his office and it was, like, just very messy. And it
probably wasn't good to speak up while you didn't have a renewed contract.
No, and I like...
But I respect it. He wanted to make sure we were having the best experience possible.
He was great. No, I liked him a lot. And
I definitely credit him a lot for, like, why I went on to try doing so much music, even though it's not what I'm majoring in at all.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good vibe. And the next band director that came was not a good vibe.
He did not like our energy. Because at this point, we said we didn't like each other our first year. At this point, we're, I would say, inseparable, right?
Yeah.
It was like if you saw one of us in the band room, you saw the other 10 feet away.
Because we had gotten close through marching indoor percussion together.
Yeah.
In Nexus.
And we were like really just pushing each other to be like the next best thing.
Yeah, just always practicing, getting better.
And just like, all right, this is like the person we're going to push and just hang out with. So when one of us gets excited, 9 times out of 10, the other one's also at that same level of energy. And I had just gotten off of my first year of drum corps with the Colt Cadets in 2015.
Yeah, CC.
Last year they made finals and then took a break. They just didn't want to pressure open class too much.
And they made finals this past year, I'm pretty sure, didn't they?
They did. I was very happy for the group.
Very surprising.
Yeah,
I saw the show.
I still hold them near and dear to the whole heartstrings, so I was very happy to see them on the field.
Yeah, for sure.
So I came back from my first season thinking, I'm the hottest shit. I am so good at everything I do. I should run this band program.
Drum corps.
Yeah, this marching band needs to be more like a drum corps. And man, I was so wrong. If I could go back, I would change so much about that.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to know this band director until I came maybe the last week of summer or something.
It was like a week before school started or something like that.
And it was
not long.
all him and I had ever known was emailing back and forth saying, hey, I'm gone. I still want to be in this program. It's my senior year. I'm just out doing more band. And he knows what drum corps is. He knows WGI. He understood, and he welcomed me with open arms because we didn't know each other at that point. And that was also our percussion director's last year at the high school, which we can get into more when we talk about indoor.
Yeah.
So I show back up to high school band or whatever. And yeah, it was a lot of me and Danny getting yelled at all the time.
Because we like to have fun with each other, and we would, on water breaks during marching season, we would always get so hyped for water breaks, and for some reason he just really hated that. Like,
you gotta hydrate or dehydrate.
Like, you gotta scream, it's water.
Yeah, like you gotta start chants. You gotta get the people motivated.
It got people excited. Like, people would like run and get their water and run back, and it was like, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And
I know, like, a big thing for me during rehearsal, if someone else is, like, pushing their energy towards me, like, they're so excited that I get so excited,
yeah.
then I'm going to feed off that 100%.
Yeah, it just makes the rehearsal a lot more fun when it's high energy like that.
Yeah.
But like I just remember like specifically after that rehearsal when he was like, you can't yell during water breaks anymore. He's like, you gotta just chill and like you gotta sit there with your can of hype and you gotta crack it open, your can of hype. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
yeah.
What does that mean? I was just like, let me have fun. Like,
it's just band.
It's literally just marching band. Like,
there is an order of you have to be good and then you can have a lot of fun. But I would say you and I were pushing the limits of how much better we could get through that program.
Especially when it wasn't, like, we weren't in rehearsal. We were on a water break. And it was like, he had dismissed us to go get our water. Really, our time was ours.
Yes, that is a break time. If we choose to take a nap for those 3 seconds, we can take a nap.
Like many times during drum corps, I would lay down on the ground during water breaks.
Yeah. So yeah, I came back to the band. He was not a fan of me. Him and I didn't get along. We were pretty close to having like no shirts rehearsals with the old band director, I'd say, right?
There was it was basically shirts were like up. Like
yeah. So coming back from drum corps, I had a harness tan. I was taking my shirt off every day, blah blah blah, and I just existed that way for 60 days, 2 months. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe if I just tuck the shirt up, he'll be okay with it. And then I got yelled at. So I tucked the back of the shirt into my harness and tried resetting facing front. So I'd be walking backwards to my dot. And just from the box, Eddie Gomez. Yeah, what's up? Turn around. Why? Is your shirt up? No. So then I tuck it back down real quick and then I turn around. He's like, don't let me catch you with your shirt up again. That's not what we do here at this program.
So
this isn't a drum corps, like that whole phrase.
Yeah, that's...
I'm like, I get it. We're not a drum corps, but it's just like...
It's hot out.
it's very hot out. This is an athletic activity. I don't know if I consider it a sport. That's a whole debate that I won't get into.
You're carrying, regardless whether it's a sport or not, you're carrying 45 pounds on the front of your body. Like, you are working hard.
I'm just getting tired.
Every time, regardless of, like, whether it's indoor or outdoor marching band... Like, every time we did a block of marching band, Eddie would look like he took a shower.
Dude, I sweat so bad. Oh, man. I don't know what kicked it out of me. But, yeah, we couldn't see eye to eye on that. And then I will say this season after I graduated, he did let me teach for a bit, but we'll get there.
He kind of mellowed out my senior year.
Yeah.
But...
What was our show that year? Take to the Skies?
Junior is the aviation show.
Yeah.
And that show was...
We got a Box 6 production show.
Pre-made show.
Yeah. It was made for a much lower level group, I think.
I don't think it was that bad. I think it was... I mean, it was okay, but it was just, like, very blah. It was, like, a stock marching band show. It was, like...
I think I want to put this on my YouTube channel. You can see a video of that, of both Danny and I playing that show,
Oh, yeah, the
like
split cam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's, like, so many tempo tears in that.
Yeah, like, we weren't a great band program by any means, but it was just very different. Our old director was writing music for us, and so was our old percussion director, to go to a pre-bought show, pre-made.
And I really like that year, though, because, like, you were drumline section leader, right?
Yeah, I was kind of the guy.
And I was pit section leader.
And we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, like, the people we had in our sections, like, I mean, I'm speaking for pit, like we got a lot better just because, like, it was easy to have your front ensemble and your battery on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Battery, I would say... A lot of people wanted to be there. A lot of them were coming off their second or third season of WGI. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of good mentalities going into the season. Some big heads, but they had the hands to back up what we were playing at Providence.
Which was easy stuff.
Yeah, it was just like nothing like we're not making Skojo cry today. We're gonna make Joe Blow, Illinois judge, impressed with how low our grace notes are.
We're gonna make somebody's grandma go, wow.
That's my baby.
Yeah.
It was only an okay show. We did okay competitively.
I thought I think the music was the most well written.
Yeah.
Like, because they weren't written by the staff at Providence. Mm-hmm. Because they weren't arranged by the staff at Providence. They were professional shows made by Box 6, John Mapes, all those people.
Like everything, the concept was just there. It was a spoon, like the props had old planes, Amelia Earhart, the show was called Take to the Skies. Yeah. if you didn't get the show, you weren't watching it.
You're just like, and the color guard was dressed up as like old school pilots with like the goggles and that old school hat.
Directing planes with their flags. It was very like right there in your face show. So I think that was something Providence needed.
Good.
After 8 bagpipes.
Yeah, good lower level like marching band show.
Did anything happen that fall season between us? I think we just tried slang under the radar mostly, right?
Yeah, I don't remember much about that season, quite honestly.
Because
that was my first year as section leader, and it was interesting. I think I grew a lot that year because people were bad, and it was like, how are you supposed to tell people they're bad?
Yeah,
like a lot, and like without them getting like pissed off.
Like, how do you make it not personal at all? Like, this objectively, you need to get better.
How do you tell your friends that, like you really suck?
Yeah,
and, like, you should practice more, and like this is what you're doing wrong.
Like between you and I, if you said, Eddie, you need to get better, thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
You talk to me about my drumming a lot.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Like we help each other, but for someone that doesn't understand that level of the activity, like now that we teach like younger students, how do you just kind of get them of, hey, I really only want the best for you, but for this ensemble and for you to get better as a person, you need to care more about all the aspects of your life, including music. Mm-hmm. But to say that as like what, a 17, 18-year-old?
I don't know what it is. Like maybe they're not mature enough, and they just haven't experienced like enough things.
They're just doing band for a grade.
Yeah. They're just doing band to escape gym class.
That's what I did.
I know that. Yeah.
I only did it to escape gym. It was like, okay, if I do one season of band, I can get out of all my gym requirements. And now here I am, 22 years old, and I've just aged out of drum corps. Now I teach
the drum line with bulls.
Yeah, like I can't escape it. I made a poor decision, but here we are today, still drumming.
Yeah, I'm like you. I joined music because I liked music.
That's weird.
I started band in 5th grade. Well, technically I started music in 3rd grade on recorder.
Ooh, this guy.
Did recorder karate.
Recorder karate?
4th grade, made it to the rainbow belt, I'll have you know.
Oh, I thought you meant like karate with your recorder.
Yeah, I actually...
Like, that's badass.
People over the face of my recorder.
I respect it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That fall season, we kind of just... We would just kind of go to rehearsal as like an obligation, leave and just hang out and just try to get it out of our brains, right?
There was we tried to have fun. But I think it was we were just trying to have fun.
Yeah, and it was just the whole new band director thing.
Because it was your last year there, and we wouldn't... Honestly, then we didn't know we were going to get to march together again.
Yeah, that was like one and done for us. Like, we have to make the most of this or else.
Yeah. And then we were... I mean, especially at the beginning... Our band director was coming from a program that was semi-successful, like Edwards.
Yeah, they were WGI bronze medalists. I think A class, but that's still like a good accomplishment.
The year before, that's like a...
Like, good for them. Yeah. Like, you guys earned whatever you did. Scojo said you guys had the lowest taps in WGI, the 3rd lowest taps in WGI.
Yeah, so like, and that was cool for us because like we were doing WGI and we weren't doing that well, so it was like cool to us.
Yeah, it's like we competed in that class. You guys did something we weren't able to.
Yeah,
and he was a percussion guy.
Yeah, that's also like hearing about him coming in. We were really excited about him coming in because like, wow, he's a percussion guy. Like
our old one was a clarinet player.
Yeah. Oh my god, he was way cooler.
Yeah, so we're like, man, this guy's gonna get us. He's gonna be on the same wavelength.
He's way better with jazz band too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like jazz. I did jazz my freshman year and said, this ain't for me because I played E-bass.
I had jazz all 4 years, not to brag, but. So yeah, that was. Your senior year, my junior year. Before
we go to 16, I'll cut this out if you want.
What?
Do you want to talk about the apple or the ranch?
I was gonna bring that up at the end.
Okay, we'll double back
because it's a current story.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I graduate in 2015, or in 2016, and then Danny goes on to do another season or another band semester at Providence.
And to clarify, Eddie was on quads again. His senior year, and my junior year, I was center marimba again, section leader, and then 16, I decided that I
wanted to try something new.
After doing like a year of solid winter percussion, I was like in a front ensemble. I was like, I should try something else, and so I decided to switch to snare, and so it was 2 snare drums and 2 tenors and like 4 basses, and it was like
a medium-sized front ensemble.
Yeah.
A medium A-class sized front ensemble.
We were not good.
Not pushing any limits in that front.
But however, I will say that we were the cleanest snare line that Providence has ever had.
I would agree. I would very much so agree.
Because Robbie was solid for being in high school, for me to see him in high school. And
he almost made PIO, right?
he was last cut at PIO in 2016.
Yeah, and he was like a junior in high school. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I know I could read music. I could do rhythms. So
You were already ahead of me at that point.
yeah. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it was a stipulation that I had with the band director. I told him, I was like, I really don't want to do front ensemble. I would rather do snare, but I won't do snare unless we do traditional grip, because they had done matched grip in 2015.
Yes, we did.
And I was like, not about that, because I was like, a traditional grip just looks better. If you're going to be bad, why not look better being bad?
Look the best while you sound the worst.
It's like, it looks cooler. The action shots would be okay.
I don't get how you're setting like stipulations for something you've never done before. Well, I'm only doing this if we do it this way.
That's what
But if I don't get this, I'm not doing it.
I was going into my senior year, I was calling the shots with this band director.
You were running the program. And then your first percussion tech that season was the bagpipes instructor's brother.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then halfway...
I forgot about him.
Actually, sometime after drum corps, my C partner, Mickey Graff, and I got him to teach the program for some money, and then I asked if I could volunteer since I had just graduated. So there's just a gray area in that program where you can kind of get paid if you just graduated, but it's better if you wait. Yeah. So I said I'll come in a couple of times occasionally because I want to start teaching, and I come off my second season of drum corps with Mickey. So... when would you say that happened, that we started teaching you guys?
Definitely. I remember you and Mickey being there during longer rehearsals after school during the week. So it was like August, September.
Okay, so into the school year.
Yeah. No, because you guys were in drum corps and all that stuff. And you know who also came around was Danny Mack, who graduated 2 years prior. Was a center snare, or percussion section leader, and also my roommate in college.
Marched with him for 3 years. I've known him since 2010.
Yeah.
So, 10 years.
Great guy.
Great. One of the best human beings I know.
A real upstanding human.
Let's hear it.
Let's
give it up for Danny Mack.
Danny Mack. Okay. But yeah, that was the first time. I remember you talking, after you came up from drum corps, you would talk all about this guy, Mickey. And I would remember feeling threatened by my best friend talking about this other guy who's his best friend at drum corps.
Mickey was my C partner for 2 seasons of drum corps and 3 seasons of indoor. Marched with him countless times. We've taught multiple programs. So at this time, it was early in Mickey's and I, like, friendship. So I was kind of talk about him. You come back from drum corps, you want to tell people about the people you know.
Yeah, your C partner especially.
Somehow my C partner and I, we learned afterwards we lived 20 minutes away from each other. So him to come out to my high school I went to was like no drive at all. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he comes out and starts teaching. Yeah,
and that was the first time I met him, and it pretty much like he's pretty similar to Eddie and I. Like we're all pretty goofy and vibe pretty well. So like him and I was just like we were instantly friends. And he wasn't really my teacher.
Yeah, there's like such a weird line, especially since I was just coming back and you and I still hung out weekly, if not daily.
I think it was because we both knew so much about you and we're just like such good friends with you. We both knew so much about each other.
Yeah. Like if you get along with me, there's no way you won't get along with my 2 other friends.
Yeah, exactly. Your only 2 other friends.
What up? Come on, man. High school, I don't know. People in my grade, I didn't vibe with.
Grade was notorious for being terrible.
Yes. So yeah, Mickey and I come to start teaching. The band director and I are on okay terms. Nothing great. I
haven't spoken with him. He wanted to add me on Facebook.
He did ask me to teach this past season, but I just kind of, I don't know. I was already with one program. I had just overloaded myself with 3 programs the year prior, so I just wanted to stick with one. Yeah, splitting my time between 3 programs. It was like Tuesday, Thursdays, I go to one school, and then as soon as they get out, I have to book it to the other school. And then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm at another program. So I have no time. It was a lot of time. So we teach that battery. That was the first time I got a student to cry.
Yeah, oh my God, top bass, Franny. Right?
Yeah, because we were just just drilling into you guys, like rep after rep.
That was a hard block.
Yes, because you guys just kind of weren't getting better at that time. And you guys were definitely pumping the brakes. Like, we're good enough right now. And it's competition season. So we're like, okay, we just need to... And
I mean, not all of us.
We were still in kind of the mindset of Mickey and I we just came off a drum corps. Let's make this marching band like a drum corps.
Let's go!
It's like, okay, guys, when you reset, you Or when you guys finish a rep, you reset immediately. Don't even wait for me.
Yeah.
And we just reps on reps. After 7 reps, you guys will get comments. After like 4 times of that, I noticed the top bass is crying. And I don't know, I'm not one that's good with emotions, especially of others that I'm not comfortable with.
People you don't know.
Yeah. So I kind of said, all right, guys, let's get some water. Hey, Franny, come over here. And like, hey, I hope everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I understand we're being tough on you guys. It's not like personal. It's just we want to see you guys get better faster. That's all it is.
And some people can't handle that. Or
No.
don't see that without getting it explained to them.
Man, I understand. It is a hard thing to understand.
And like a lot of times, like, it's hard to accept, like, somebody's telling you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. Like, there's been countless times of people just, like, insulting me, trying to get me to be better. Yeah. And, like, I respond very well to that, is the issue.
I've things thrown at me before.
Yeah.
Like,
I got told, if you don't pick up your feet, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to pick up my feet.
If you hit a wrong note again, a puppy will die.
Yeah. So it's just like, but some people just aren't good at that. And that's why they can only do, like, high school marching band and stuff, which it's not for everyone. I'm not saying it's supposed to be for everyone.
An independent marching band is
So that was the first time I got a kid to cry. And it's so hard teaching the people I just went to high school with. I just finished seeing every day.
You're still friends with all of them.
Yeah. I still talk to most of you guys.
It's a weird dynamic, yeah.
So to get people to take me serious was so hard.
Yeah, and I had a couple rough patches with people that year because, like, it was hard dealing with their work ethic being... I mean, I had never done drum corps at that point, and but I was doing indoor, and I was, like, marching a relatively decent indoor group who's meddled in the past, and like I was just like, you guys like really suck sometimes, and like you guys need to be doing this, and this, and like you could be a lot better right now, and a lot of people just got really offended at that. No, yeah, and a lot of it's just like, you think you're better than us because you're doing this marching band thing, you're doing more than us. And I was just like...
Well, to be fair,
I'm getting more information than you, so I mean, like...
You're learning with a higher educated staff.
A person who has a master's degree or a doctorate's going to know a person who has a GED. Like,
yeah, and that's just facts. That is objective.
They have more experience, they have more education, that's all it is.
But then again, us being so young, we don't know how to bridge that gap.
Yeah, and like... It could very easily come off as us having a big head. Like, we're in high school, we don't know how to talk.
Which I can totally understand why people were like, hey, just take it easy. I'm here to get an easy A. I just want to do X, Y, Z, not A, B, C on top of it.
I just want to get by, I'm not trying to win competitions.
Which, if that's your mindset, cool. You're going to do exactly what you want.
Yeah.
But anything else happened that year?
No, that was a good year for me because it set me up for the U of I drum line. Yeah. Which is awesome, which I'll get into at some point. But
we'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about entertainment stuff.
Me and Robbie would do a lot of hood rat stuff.
You want to talk about it?
We would.
So this is the stuff we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, my freshman year, me and Robbie, the guy who, like, my first memory of the Providence Marching Band is, like, I'm playing marimba with him. My first memory is with him. He and I, like, became really close, and we would go a lot often to this restaurant that was, like, within walking distance from our high school called Williamson's, and, like, we would just get whatever. And one time we came back there, and we had a cup of ranch that we had, and we just decided it was funny, like, to put it in the ceiling of the percussion room. And, like, granted, this is before our freshman years, like, the summer before our freshman years, band camp, like, long time ago. And we would, like, literally talk about how it'd be funny when we came back and, like, we're in college or graduated from college and the ranch is still here. And, like, the ranch is literally still in the ceiling as I'm speaking right now because, like, it's like, you know, those, like, the ceiling tiles.
The drop ceilings?
Yeah. Like, you just move those out of the way and you put the ceiling up there and it's uncovered. It never smelled. But periodically through high school, he and I would, like, check up on it, and, like, it's separated into, like, 3 different states. Like, there's a pure solid in the center of it. It's, like, very large and very hard, and there's the oil that surrounds it, and it looks like SpongeBob's dad. Oh no, no!
Like, that's a really good explanation.
Literally, like, but yeah, and
do you want to say where it is? Or you want it to be a mystery so no one finds it?
It's a mystery, but they already know it's in the ceiling of the percussion room, so I mean, like, if anybody listens to that, like, don't take it out, I swear to God. But also along those lines, like, we would try to see what else we could hide away, and we ended up putting, like, an apple underneath inside of this drum that was sitting on a shelf.
That had been there for like 10 years at that point. No one's ever taken that
No
drum
one
kit
ever
out.
used it, yeah. So we were just like, why not? Put it up there. And like a few weeks had passed, and the apple had turned gray and like a giant raisin, and it was like disgusting looking. And then one day, like, we came into the percussion room to check on it, and like all the drums were moved off that shelf, and
Yeah.
the entire shelf was clean, except there was a stain in the wood.
Didn't you guys have this ceremonial glove?
Oh yeah, we did have that glove to deal with the ranch, to take the ranch out of the ceiling. Oh my god.
And then, yeah, the drums were gone.
And we'd never heard. We thought we were gonna get yelled at.
The band director was not happy that day, though.
He was very.
He did
pissed
mention how he moved all the drums.
Yeah,
But never brought up the apple.
which is surprising.
Well, because he knew none of us would own up to it.
I feel like maybe he just assumed somebody had left it there by accident and forgot about it.
It must have been nasty, though. That must have, like, fallen apart when he picked it up.
I guarantee he didn't even know it was there. So he was like taking the drums off the shelf, and it fell off like maybe,
like on his chest or
maybe,
something.
like on him or something.
Oh,
yeah.
God, that was a nasty apple. Those are some of the best things, because with the ranch or whatever, we could still walk into this day, get a quick chair, and check on it, and just put it back, and no one would know.
Yeah, or the water bottle I wedged in the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, the one you bottle flipped, like, 10, 11 feet up.
That was my senior year when bottle flipping was a thing.
It still is a thing. What do you mean?
Yeah, so we had the sound foam around the edge of the band room, and I would bottle flip bottles up onto it, and band director eventually got mad at me. But there was like this one small corner in a corner of the room above the percussion room that I looked like it could perfectly fit a water bottle, and I was able to flip a water bottle up into it one day, and it's jammed in there. I think it's still there.
It's impressive. You need, like, a ladder to get to that.
You need to go up there to get it out. You could not try to swat it.
That is a process. That is someone needs to make a call to get that down.
But yeah, same thing. Same guy with Robbie. Do you remember your senior year when he got flung off Tim Cedarberg's car?
Yes.
I remember when I was in that car and Tim was driving and Robbie was. We were coming back from Taco Bell and we were driving through the Providence parking lot, just kind of goofing off, and Robbie decided it'd be a good idea to get on the hood of the car for some reason. And then
and Tim thought it was a better idea.
No, I'll own up to it. I told Tim to hit the brakes, but that's all I said.
Okay.
What Tim took it as was speed up, then hit the brakes.
Well,
We were going maybe 10, 15 miles an hour. I was like, he'll slide off the hood, he won't go flying. Tim speeds up to about 35 miles an hour in the high school parking lot and slams on the brakes. And this kid flies off holding his Baja Blast and really fucks up his elbow.
And he couldn't drum the entire rest of her because we were about to start marching band rehearsal for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And the guy just has a wrapped up arm just standing at his drum.
And we got talked to, and I was like, I kind of really got off the hook for that because
you guys could have gotten in a lot of trouble.
Tim was the one driving, and I think Robbie was really cool about it because he's like, really, I shouldn't have been on the hood.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was like, my defense was Tim, I don't know why you sped up. I did not tell you to do that. It was like, Tim, hit the brakes.
Jeez. Well, I think that's high school band, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much high school, man. I mean, the band director who really didn't like us ended up giving both of us awards at the end of the end of the years.
Yeah, I got the biggest marching band award.
But marching band top award.
Yeah.
Got a picture of.
Wait, it's right here. Let me read it.
The song.
Vamp. Give me a minute.
It's got a Garfield cadet on it.
Holy Name Cadets? Yeah, okay. Here it is. The National School Marching Award for Outstanding Contributions to the Marching Band, Eddie Gomez, 2016.
Yeah.
I wonder what that guy's doing.
I was pretty surprised that you got that, especially because
he did not like me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't there for summer band.
And yeah, you missed the entire marching band season basically, or half of it. So, and then my senior year, I got the John Philip Sousa Award, which is the biggest award you can get in high school band, I guess.
Yeah, but he did not show any gratitude towards us.
No,
he did not like us.
We would always be goofing off. I'd always get yelled at.
Yeah.
My senior year, I literally built a room in between the marimbas, like during concert band season, like I had like a blanket down there, I had pillows and everything, and I'd watch like YouTube videos and shit, and like I would like sometimes take naps. It was because it was dark. Oh,
That's a flex.
It was great. Oh, it was awesome. I had something else I forgot though.
If you think of it, we can talk about it another time.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna about do it.
Yeah, that was a good rep, good first rep.
Yeah, good first rep. Hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna call it quits. We'll see if we do another one.
Yeah. All right.